We are live.
It's always
Yeah.
awkward to start with lives.
Yes. How do you start?
Hey guys, my name is Leejay,
And I'm Melissa.
and welcome to our live session. Today's important. Every day is important, right?
Yes.
But
Because it's the 30th day
30th
of the
day of the
challenge.
challenge. Wow, it's
Yes.
incredible.
1 month has passed. Right.
Yeah, that's a month right there.
Yeah.
By the time we hit tomorrow, 31st, and then 32nd, obviously we're not in the calendar dates anymore. I think that's more
Yes.
exciting, right? And we're a third. It's going to be a third.
Yeah.
Yeah, today's officially a third of the challenge done,
Yes.
right? And so we're so happy because a lot has
Happened.
happened.
Yeah. We've learned so much, and I think we can do this every day now. How do you feel?
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can do it. We can definitely do it every day,
Yes.
and especially when I I want to do it in the morning, but I think nighttime is the perfect time for us to do it, just before the
Yeah.
kids sleep or just after the kids sleep,
Yeah.
whichever comes first.
Yeah.
Right.
Or let us know, our viewers, our audience, those who are watching us, let us know what is the best time
Mm-hmm.
for us to do this.
That's
Is
right.
it morning or evening?
Or
Not
afternoon.
afternoon.
Afternoon, we're extremely busy.
Maybe on the
right?
weekends.
On the weekends for sure, right?
Yeah.
Probably in the afternoon,
Yeah.
or just about lunchtime. But yeah, we're just so happy, you guys. So happy, so grateful for all the
Yes.
things that happened so far
Yes.
with our journey here at the Online Biz.
Yes.
And
There's a lot of things moving now. We've just registered to becoming a webinar panelist.
yes,
So, which means that for the webinar that we've been asking you about, we're gonna be finally in there,
right,
hosting it.
main,
Not hosting it,
we're
but
gonna be a guest.
we're gonna be a guest in those webinars. And I just watched the one that was today, and there's over 500 people who attended that webinar. It's a global webinar, right? So a lot of people are attending that. So it's a privilege to be able to be a guest on that webinar.
It is, yeah, and we have waited for so long to be in that panel, as a panelist.
Yes.
But we're here, right?
Yeah.
We really want to participate more in our community, just to give back also with all the,
Yeah.
blessings that we received from the system.
Yes.
I think, it's only time, it's the right time
Yeah.
of giving back.
Yeah, it's only fair for us to do that because now that things are really moving
Right.
on, right, with our businesses and with the building part of the business, we really want to give back to the system who has been
supporting
us
yeah.
in the last few years.
Right. So the good thing is, it's gonna be on. There's a date. There's gonna be on May 9.
Yes, it's gonna be on May 9.
Yeah, it's gonna be on May 9, and we're gonna be sharing a story there,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
And there will be thousands and thousands of people that's gonna be watching that, and we're so excited. Kind of nerve wracking, but
Yeah. Yeah.
like excited as well,
Yeah.
right?
When I said that there were people who are over 500 people are watching that, it means that it's being watched live by over 500 people.
All
but
over the
there
world.
are some other people who watch this webinar as a recorded version.
Yeah, that's right.
Meaning that there is not
Could be
only
thousands.
500, it could be thousands of people who are actually watching this
Right.
all over the globe.
And it's exciting because you get to connect with those people.
Yes.
If they get connected with you, maybe it's
Yeah.
something that is this change. It is change, right? Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. And it just allows us to really connect with the right audience, the right
Yes.
people,
Yeah.
like-minded individuals,
Yeah.
right?
They're real people, like even though it's an online business, right? Like online, these people are real. They have real stories. ups and downs, and they're sharing it to us
Right.
and to everybody who's watching the webinar.
That's right.
And I think it's an honor to experience those stories. Right?
Absolutely. So, what do we do here, anyways? Right. So we help. Put your
We
skip
help.
here. Mel memorized this entire thing already. She
Yeah,
knows.
I'm trying to find some different ways to say it, but yeah. So we are Leejay and Melissa, and we are husband and wife. We've been married for 10 years now.
Ex-girlfriend.
Yes, and we've been ex-girlfriend. Stop.
Ex-boyfriend.
And we help families, individuals to get started in the online space by starting an online business with us, using the tools, the system, the mentorship, and the community that we have,
Right.
and pretty much everything that you need to get started in the business.
Absolutely. So if you guys are considering this for a while and wanting to explore, a legitimate way of earning online, and if you guys are looking for a community, right, like-minded individuals, coaches, mentors, this is probably a great way to start, right? Not for everybody, right? We totally understand that. But it's for people that's looking for change, people that are coachable, people that are really looking to start or acquire a new skill, right? Especially in marketing, branding, right? People that are looking for more time, right, with their loved ones, and professional people, right? Like already successful people, but wanted to secure more of the future, right? Or wanting to free more time to spend time with family. I was talking to one of one of these. We bought some stuff online, and these are secondhand stuff, right? So the previous owner actually told me that time really flies, in that the things that they have in the garage sale were his children's items, right, from grade one, and these items, right, and his children was about something like 40 years ago, right?
Yeah.
And it just hit me. I'm like, oh my gosh, like there will be a time where we will be selling stuff of our old kids stuff, right?
Kid stuff.
And what's the line of thought I was trying to get into? There was this and what was the line of
And he
thought?
was saying that time just flew by so fast.
Yeah, but before that, what were we talking about? We were talking about for individuals. So sorry, for professionals, it's looking for more time, right? Because some professionals that I see out there, yes, they have boats, they have yachts, they have, they have not really yachts, but they have toys, right? And they have money to pay for this toys, but they don't have the time to play for it, right? They don't have the time to spend with their family using the boat in a lake, or using the RV that they bought, because they have to keep working, right? And eventually we wanted to have that lifestyle of really giving back, to our more time with our community, especially in our church community. We want to give back more to our families, right? And really have quality time, right? And when I say time, really time to read books. I mean,
it's a luxury nowadays to actually open a book and give some time to read it.
Right.
Right. And we were talking this morning that even our breakfasts, just having to have a breakfast with your loved ones, right? It's a luxury without having to rush out the door and watching the time because there's only very little time left. It's a luxury nowadays.
It is a sitting down, having a sip of coffee, having a nice conversation. It is truly a luxury. And for those couples out there that's not speaking to each other because you guys are having love quarrels, right? 5 minutes of love quarrel is enough, right? To us anyways, right? Because time really is just
valuable,
it's valuable, right?
We don't want to waste
No more
That's what
wasting
I
time.
was talking to one of our in one of our ladies chat.
Mm.
We were saying because we're sharing those moments when you had a fight with your loved ones,
Mm.
and then my moment was, oh, ours, we do fight, but not it doesn't take that long as much before,
Mhm.
right? Before we used to fight like 2 days maybe, and then not fight like we wouldn't talk to each other. But
Mhm.
then now our fights are more like few minutes, like
That's
one
right.
2 minutes, like 1 2 minutes, no, like probably an hour, an hour or so. And then it's not, it's more like a disagreement, like we have to understand both of
Yeah.
each sides, because we are our own people. Like
Yeah.
I'm my own person, he's his own person, and we sometimes, disagree on some things, right?
Yeah,
And
like
then we were talking about that it's just not productive anymore to fight for a long term.
for
you
long
know,
periods of
yeah.
time, right?
There was a word that I mentioned and I completely forgot.
Right.
It's not. Yeah, I forgot.
But
It's okay.
um, and you know what? That's a side topic
Yeah,
that we
that's
want to
not
talk about.
actually the topic that we want to talk about today.
What is the topic actually? What do we have today?
Yeah, so for today, we're talking about our journey on achieving balance in business. Balance in business and in life? Is that
Yeah.
how it is?
Because
Okay.
yesterday we were talking about work-life balance
Yes.
and how it is achievable in
Mhm.
some businesses, right? Not all. But on this particular one, we talk about our journey, our personal journey, right, of achieving this. And I think the way I look, work-life balance is more of it's an art, right? It's a science and it's
Yeah.
an art, right?
Yeah, you have to really learn time management, right? To really work around your schedule with the
Mhm.
family, and at the same time with the business, with work, right?
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
Especially for career professionals, right?
Mhm.
That are out there. It's not that you don't like your job, right? Many of you actually, in fact, especially the professional ones, they do love what they do, right? And that's why they do that because they love it. And sometimes the work life balance really gets off chart when when the when the passion is there,
Mhm.
meaning you're really passionate of what you do, right?
Yeah.
I I was introduced, I was working in a corporate industry or in a corporate field for the
Mhm.
last 10 years, and about 4 or 5 years ago, I was introduced to the education industry,
Mhm.
and in education industry, I found my passion. Actually, I found my passion talking to regular walks of life,
Mhm.
wanting to change their lives through education.
Education.
And in the office, I always joke around this idea of, we're
Changing.
changing lives through education and things like that, right? But, the fundamental truth about it is that you are, right? You educate yourself in
Mhm.
order to gain knowledge, to gain wisdom, to gain experience, and
Mhm.
eventually have that shift, right? Of mindset, of skills, of careers,
Yeah,
right? Of
opportunities.
opportunity to get into
Mhm.
a better life, right?
Yeah.
And that's all because of wisdom, because of education, because you've worked your ass off, you know, getting what you really want.
Mhm.
And so, um, when I was working in that industry, in the education industry, my work life balance is off the charts. Like
Yeah.
you know, there are times that I work 14 hours, right? I
Mhm.
wake up early in the morning, go to the office early in the morning. I was calling students all the way to the east of Canada already because it's three
Yeah.
and a half hours in difference.
Yeah.
So my 8 o'clock here in Calgary would have been 11 o'clock in Atlantic,
Yeah.
right?
And by the way, I remember you were one of the rock stars in that college institution,
So,
because you were, I think, the top national
right.
sales in education.
So, uh, because there's a passion, right? I really love what I do, and I stay up late as well, right? So there are times where I stay till 7 o'clock
Yes.
or 8 o'clock at night
And I remember
because I have to. I'm calling my students in BC, which is an hour less than Mountain Time, our time.
Oh yes, yeah.
So, when you are in that position, and that's funny because now I look at it, my personal journey around it is really an art, and it depends on where you are in your career and where you are with your life, right? And as I was looking at Mel when she's finishing up her accounting diploma, um, you were studying till
studying
like 2 in the morning,
12
right?
hours a day.
12 hours a day, right? And
It's just because I really want to study. Like, I really want to learn it and shove it all in my head. And sometimes I don't even notice the time. Like, next thing you know, it's already 3 in the morning, and I have to wake up at 7.
right.
And it all of a sudden it was just,
Yeah.
like,
I think the
it's a good
journey around it
experience.
is that
Like, I think there's a lot of growth
Yeah.
that we were able to get from it.
right.
Like, even you, when you were in that college, I remember you were rocking it. Like,
But then when you made it, and then
and then
when you go
people knew
through
the
it,
name Leejay
I know,
Dumo
because
because
of,
because you're always on the chart. Like,
Right.
you're always on the board there, and it's
Well,
national.
well, I don't want to indulge in that too
No,
much,
I just
but
want to mention that because
it's okay. but
then
let's stick
I
to the
remember
let's
if
let's stick to
nobody
the
knows that,
subject.
when Leejay goes in one of the colleges, he's a pretty
They would
well
probably
known.
they
He's
would
a
probably know me,
pretty
right?
well
Chances,
known person.
right?
People will be like, "It's Leejay Dumo. It's Leejay Dumo."
there was an instance where apparently they were working some of my files, and apparently I was a legend in that particular department.
Yes.
And
They recorded his interviews with the students,
Mhm.
and that's what they used for the training for the whole college.
Right.
Right?
Well,
Like,
I did an entire training session for a particular college, and I trained over 600 people in the other college that I work with.
yeah.
And that's besides the fact. Like the fact is that when you really love what you love doing, right, and time just flies like even crazier. It's like 2 times, right? I remember even just my previous job prior to this job that I have. Um, I just don't have time to eat. I don't have time to
Yeah.
breathe. There's always a schedule after the schedule.
Yeah.
Talking to people, teaching people, giving them the skills, the tools, everything they possibly need in order to succeed. And and the work-life balance is kind of wacky, right?
Yeah.
But there are times also where I took 7 months off.
Yeah.
Right? A year
So,
off, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember when I first did my first 1 year off, and that's where I bought an RV, our first RV, and I started an online business, right?
Yes.
And then a YouTube. For those of you who don't know, my
Yes.
YouTube channel is actually The Awesome Life YouTube channel. There's 138 subscribers, right? There's one video that has 20,000 views, right?
Yeah.
Which is good.
Yeah.
But all of this, it comes down to a balance in life, right? And it is an art. At the same time, it's a science to find out what really works for you.
Yeah.
All the while, all the work that I put through, all the time and effort that I put through on all the jobs that I did.
There was one thing that really stuck out, and you kept on going, right? Like, you stick at it, and that was the online business.
That's right. So out of all those, right, there's only one consistent business that really that we really wanted, right?
Yeah.
And built, right? And
Yes.
actually working
And it
right now.
fits our lifestyle.
Yeah.
It fits our busy schedule. Even if we are doing other things, we put 1 hour, 2 hours a day on the online business,
Yeah.
and it runs in the background, automated,
Exactly.
majority of the time, right? So, yeah.
It did happen in some of the businesses that I did, right? The service business, the cleaning business that I started 2011, still running right
Yeah.
now. In fact, it's strong, right? And
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
and and I barely put time
Yeah.
in it, but it took a lot of time building it. I also scrubbed floors and and cleaned, right? Just looking back, there's really a ton of work that needs to be done in order to automate a business.
Yes.
And when you're there, you're still not fully automated because obviously you still need a person, a body that's going to be that yeah, that's accountable of that particular operation. Uh, and so when we're looking at the business model that the online business has, right, it really checks all the boxes that we're looking for.
Yeah.
Imagine somebody is doing the fulfillment for you.
Yeah.
Like I remember Mel
You just send some
folding
papers.
folding these products and putting it in sheets of
Yeah.
plastic.
Yeah, I
Right?
spend hours and hours doing the manufacturing business.
Mhm.
I even have to drive all the way to the Hutterites community to get it manufactured.
Right.
And at the end of the day, I still have to do the sales. I still have to do the accounting. I still have to do everything.
Right.
So
I remember driving all the way there, picking up the materials, folding it, putting it in little
yes.
containers, and
Yeah.
going to the Canada Post, having
Yeah.
it shipped somewhere in Canada,
Yes.
right? And then we have to print the labels, we have to print, the marketing, the branding around
Yes.
it.
It's a good viable business, but we wanted that work life balance kind of business, and the online business gives that to us.
So imagine now somebody in the warehouse somewhere keeps track of the inventory. Somebody in the warehouse somewhere prints picking tickets
Yes.
and stick them into whatever box, right? And ship them out wherever in the world, right?
Yes.
If you're in Dubai, in Europe, in Southeast Asia,
Philippines.
in Philippines, in Middle East,
Yeah.
right? Wherever you are, there is going to be an operation there. And what's crazy about it is that you would be sleeping, fast asleep, and somebody else is actually working on your order.
For you.
Somebody else is doing the
Yeah.
order. Somebody else is figuring out the inventory. Somebody else is figuring out the commissions, the revenue that you're getting, right?
Yeah.
All you got to do really is to show up every day, put in your 10%, send some paperwork,
sign some papers.
Now that I think about it, because you always say 90% done system and then 10%. It's probably less than 10%, you guys, if you're looking at the grand scheme of things, right?
Yeah. Well, we do the majority of the time is the online work, the digital marketing, the advertising, the social media.
If you look at the other side of the business, somebody has to do research and development.
Yeah.
Somebody has to manufacture things, right?
Yeah.
Somebody has to do all of these little things that's actually behind. And on top of that, there's a system that was created for this particular business that updates all of your training, updates all of your masterminds, all of the tricks. There's hundreds and thousands of people, that went through the training, find out what the bug is, what's not working, what's working, and all of that is happening even when you're fast asleep.
And without paying a dime for it. And I think it's...
If you think about it, right? Like, the education that we have is truly world class. The training system is truly world class.
Yeah, the system all in itself is just really amazing. And it really works for entrepreneurs like us, right? And when we talk about products and inventories, there's really no inventory, no handling of inventory on this kind of business.
To me, that just blows my mind,
and
right?
no selling of the products. There is a system that does it for you, but we never have to sell the products because of that system.
Which is even
Yeah.
crazier, right? And the system works on itself, automated, right? And there's a button to press, and there's a button to unpress.
Yes. And
You know,
also, the personal growth, the you know growing with people who are like-minded like you, and just having that peace of mind that you're doing something good, not only for yourself but also for other people. I think that is a big deal.
right? And you know, when it comes to personal journey of achieving work-life balance, it just boils down to one thing, and that thing really is automation, right?
Yeah.
If you figure out an automation to your business, I think that's one of the greatest gift God can ever give you. I had the privilege to work closely with owners of the companies that I work with. Um, and when I look at them, there's this one owner that I talked to once, and he owns a construction business, and they do flooring, and and in this business, I asked him like, what. This is me before I left, right? Before I left, and I was so close of leaving at that time. But before I left, I was asking questions, like business related questions, in terms of, and these are brute questions. What are your margins, right? Are you happy with your margins? Are you happy with profits, right? Like what percentage of all the revenue you truly get, right? And I remember him telling me like, I'll be happy to get 10%. That would be really really high for all of the owners, right? To achieve that. Um, and then he was telling me something about, and then what is the goal, right? Like what do you really want out of this business? And I would never forget his answer. And he said, Leejay, I think all businesses are looking for one thing, right? And they're striving for one thing only, and that is automation, right? They want to have hands off in their, eventually have that hands off, because I was looking at their history. Um, true enough, that the founders of that particular company never had the opportunity to give, or to pass on the business, right, their legacy to the next kin, or to their sons or daughters, or family members, because none of the family members wanted to work, right, with that company, and they lost all the rights already, right, because they've sold their shares and they've retired, and etc.
Yeah.
And now the legacy will pass on, not with their family members, but for other people.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with that, right? But it's just sad how to think that, the founder actually has 3 kids, right, and none of them had um, the interest or even the ability to actually take over their dad's legacy. Um, all because they didn't figure out some sort of automation with their business, right? These are old school people. They run their business and things like that. Nothing wrong with that, right? But for me, when I think about work life balance, I really wanted some sort of automation. Even the business that I'm building right now, it's an employment agency. I know there's going to be people that's going to be working in there, but I'm building it in such a way that there will be automation, and I will not be forever there, right? To look at it, to manage it. There will be people that's going to be doing that. There will be fulfillment. There will be automated systems, emails, order taking, and all these things, right? That's going to be in place.
Yeah.
And
automated doesn't mean like the computer is doing the job for
that's
you.
right. No,
There's a person still doing the job, but it's just more precise. I mean, more in a system, right?
it alleviates some of the
Yeah.
pains, right, of mundane tasks, or labor intensive tasks.
Yes.
And if I could pay somebody out there that really just enjoys being creative, um, for themselves, and and they want to work because they want to work, I mean,
Mhm.
that's you wouldn't be working. There is a physicist by the name of Planck. Can't remember the first name. And is it him that said it? But anyways, probably him, but somebody else. My colleague always says this all the time. But and the saying goes that find the thing that you really want to do and you love doing, and you wouldn't work a day in your life, right? And and that is so much true. That is so true
Yeah.
with all those people that that found their passion. And when you found your passion, and you're working with it, you aren't really working. You're just having
Yeah.
fun.
You're just
Money
doing what
just
you
comes
love
on
to
top,
do.
right? Like it's a cherry on top to
Yeah.
get rewarded with those kind of
Yeah.
things, right?
Yes. Yeah.
So I think we went over our time.
More than 30 minutes.
Yeah, that tons of nuggets, you guys. I
Yeah.
hope it helps, right? I hope we entertain you tonight. Just having this short conversations, half an hour
Yeah.
conversation with you guys is just a privilege to both of us. So
Yes.
if you're considering this, opportunity, the system,
Yeah.
and you want to work with us, you can work with somebody else. That's fine. But if you really want to work with us and you want us to be part of your team, reach out to us directly, or you can visit us at
leejayandmelissa.com.
leejaymelissa.com and just message us directly.
Yeah, just reach out to us.
All right. Thanks a lot, guys.
Well, take care. Have a
Take
good
care.
night.
We love you.
Thank you for watching.
Thank you for watching.
See you again tomorrow.
Bye.